Fresh from his meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky, later on today, President Donald Trump will welcome Benjamin Netanyahu at Mar-a-Lago. The Israeli and American leaders are expected to discuss the fragile truce in the Gaza Strip and American efforts to solidify the so-called second phase of the ceasefire in the Palestinian territory. However, Netanyahu may well try to focus the conversations on Iran and on Hezbollah in Lebanon. Well, our foreign editor, Angela Diffley, is with me now in the studio to talk a little bit about this meeting. And let's focus on Gaza first of all, Angela. Before we come to this second phase, which may be talked about today, just remind us about what phase one of that deal entailed.
Yeah, a certain amount has been achieved. Lots has not been achieved, but there has been, since the October ceasefire, Gaza is not the same as it was before. Both sides regularly accuse each other of violating the ceasefire, but broadly, that ceasefire is holding. The IDF have done much of their partial pullback to the areas where they said they would pull back to. In terms of prisoner hostages exchanges, all of the living hostages were released. There is the remains of one Israeli dead hostage who has not been released. Humanitarian aid, there have been stops and starts. It is far from satisfactory, but it is significantly improved, and most aid agencies are now reasonably happy with what the situation is. And as far as the Rafah crossing is concerned, that's that crossing between Gaza, the Gaza Strip, and Egypt down in the south. Israel will only allow Gazans to leave Gaza to go to Egypt. It will not allow anyone in from Egypt to Gaza. Probably that suits Egypt very well. I imagine they do not want to cooperate. They say we don't want people coming into Egypt and not being other people allowed into Gaza, therefore we will not open it at all, because Egypt does not want lots of Gazans coming into Egypt, and so Israel has ordered it to be that way, and so for the moment it is not open on either side to get in or out.
Okay, so what about this meeting today then? What are the goals of Netanyahu and Trump?
Yeah, so, this takes place against a bit of a background. There are reports coming out, notably a report in Axios, a news agency, saying that some in the Trump administration are losing patience with Netanyahu, notably J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio. They fear that Netanyahu is deliberately stalling, delaying, taking as long as possible over everything because he does not want to go ahead with phase two. That said, from the Israeli point of view, they feel their mission is to persuade Donald Trump that there is no way that Hamas is going to disarm unless there is a significant threat that war would really be resumed, or a significant military operation with Washington's endorsement would follow if by certain deadlines Hamas does not disarm. They say Hamas simply will not disarm otherwise. Stage two involves the announcement, and the Trump administration are keen to get this started and to make these announcements in January. They would like to unveil the the oversight board, the peacekeeping board it's called, or the peace board. That is the board at which Donald Trump will be at the head. We don't know who the other members will be. Then there is to be this all-important Palestinian technocratic committee that will be the day-to-day government of the Gaza Strip. And they are keen to go ahead with that. But, of course, there is also to be this stabilization force, this international multilateral force. No country has shown any interest in doing that because they fear that part of their mission would be to try to force Hamas to disarm, and they would end up in armed combat with Hamas. Nobody wants to be involved in it. The Israelis are convinced that Hamas have no intention of disarming as well. And so it's blocked at that level. And the Israelis, certainly Netanyahu, will probably try to persuade Trump that you need to endorse me saying that we will, if decommissioning doesn't make significant progress by a certain date, we will resume a very significant military operation. So there is a divergence there.
All right.